Hi there BookTube, this is Emma from Emma's Bookish Lifestyle, and this is Drogo, who's decided to jump on my lap just as I'm videoing. I have a cup of coffee, I have some books, one I was gifted, one from a publisher, one that was part of my Kindle Prime, and two that I just couldn't resist. They were on my wish list, but I had to buy them from Salt Publishing. So let's get through them without further ado. The first one is my Kindle first book, and this month I've gone for a thriller, and this one, sorry for the glare, that's my laptop, is called The Winter Over. Now this is by Matthew Iden and is due for release, I believe, on the 1st of February. This is a book based in Antarctica, and for 9 months of the year they are completely cut off, and there is a scientific party there, and a body turns up and they hide the body, and there's a lady that's arrived there called Cass, who has psychological issues and has covered them up and managed to pass the psychological review, which has meant that she's currently there for the 9 months with the duration and the rest of the science party. I haven't started it yet. I love a good thriller, as you know. I'm a big fan of a 1980s Kurt Russell film, which I can't remember off the top of my head, which is on a similar premise. When I review that book, I will be more concise, and I will dig out the name of that film. I think it's actually, I know it, sorry, gosh, sign of my age again, duh. It's called The Thing, and it's Kurt Russell, and it was in 1980, I think 88, but I may be wrong. And it's very much a B movie, so don't be expecting high octane graphics and all that sort of thing. It was the 80s, but it was quite a good film. It's definitely one of mine and my brother's favourite films from that era, and that book looks extremely like the premise for that film. So if it's as good as the film is, but based on a slightly different story, then I will be extremely happy. So the next book that I've got was a gift. This was a gift from a work colleague of mine called Yvonne Malcolm. I don't know if she watches this channel, but if she does, thank you very much, Yvonne. Unfortunately, Yvonne left our company this week and was very sweet and gave me a leaving gift. This is I'm Travelling Alone by Samuel Bjorg. She said she saw this as she was coming out of the train station, and she just knew it was going to be something that I would enjoy. The premise of this book I'll read now for you. So when the body of a young girl is found hanging from a tree, the only clue the police have is an airline tag around her neck. It reads, I'm travelling alone. In response, police investigator Holger Munch is charged with assembling a special homicide unit. But to complete the team, he must track down his former partner, Mia Kruger, a brilliant but troubled detective who has retreated to a solitary island with plans to kill herself. Reviewing the file, Mia finds something new, a thin line carved into the dead girl's fingernail, the number 1. This is only the beginning. To save other children from the same fate, she must find a way to cast aside her own demons and stop this murderer from becoming a serial killer. Now, this has had some great reviews. Independent said it was mesmerising fare. The Guardian said it was compelling with plenty of intrigue, and Heat magazine also said it was tense, thrilling and genuinely scary, and gave it 5 stars. Now I believe as well he is Norwegian, I don't know, yes, and it's been translated by Charlotte Barsland, and it's part of a series, I believe. This is the first in a sequence of novels featuring Munch and Kruger. Apparently it's been extremely popular along Scandinavia and Europe. So yeah, I look forward to reading that. That's I'm Travelling Alone. Always good when it's a free book gifted to you. The second book, or third book actually, because of the Kindle book, the third book that I have is this book, and it is called Displaced by Stephen Abronelli. Gosh, here we go. Stephen Aberbanel. Apologies, I've completely butchered that. Anyway, this was kindly sent to me by Hodder for review, and I'll give you, this is due to be published on the 23rd of February 2017. It's a translated fiction by Lucy Renner Jones, and it's basically 1946, and the full horrors of the previous 6 years are slowly coming to light. But in Jerusalem, Elias Lind can't accept that his brother Raphael really did die in a concentration camp. He has evidence that the scientist is still alive but unable to search for him himself. He persuades a young member of the Jewish resistance to help. Lilia's search for Raphael takes her from the dusty streets of Jerusalem to the heart of political London, from US-controlled Munich to an overcrowded and underfunded displaced persons camp, before leading her to the devastated shell of Berlin itself. But before long, Lilia realises that she isn't the only one searching for the missing scientist. Now, this looks fantastic. It looks like Stefan Aberbanel is actually grew up in Hamburg. So again, translated fiction, which I wanted to increase my reading of this year, and published 23rd of February. I will be posting a review on this online, and also I've kindly been gifted a second copy, which I will be putting a competition for. Well, not a competition for, you basically just ask if you're interested in the comments, but not in this one. I'll be doing it with the review. So I have kindly been gifted a second copy, which I will be giving to one of you lucky people when I post the video for the review. I think I've said that already. Oh, obviously not enough coffee this morning, bear with me. So last but not least, the two books that I've bought myself. Both of these are Salt Publishing. I have no one else to blame but myself. The first one is Melissa by Jonathan Taylor. As I say, both of these books are published by Salt. Obviously found Salt through Mercy at Mercy's Bookish Musings. Oh my goodness, really, Emma, what on earth is going on? And this is basically inspired by true events, and it's a story about grief, music and musical hallucinations. So here we go. Immediately following the tragic death of a young girl on a small street in Stoke-on-Trent, all her neighbours experienced the same musical hallucination. This is the story of that strange hallucination and its aftermath, as a family slowly disintegrates in the wake of a terrible loss. So that is Melissa by Jonathan Taylor. I'm very new, as I say, to Salt Publishing. Mercy at Mercy's Bookish Musings highlighted it to me. I read one of theirs, Call on the Undertow, last month. I will link my video that included my review of it up there. It was phenomenal. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I have high expectations of this as well. And the second book I've got is by Phil Whitaker, and it's Sister Sebastian's Library. Now, one, it was the cover that drew me in, and second, it was the word library, because all us bookish people like bookish books. And all it says on the back here that I'm going to tell you, because I don't want to give it all away, is all is not what it seems in this graphic... Let's rewind. All is not what it seems in this gripping novel about two sisters' lives, one who leaves her secular Catholic life to become a nun in deepest Africa, and her sister who sets out to look for her when she goes missing. Again, fantastic looking book. I think both of those, as I say, are English authors. so I don't think there's any translations on those two, but thoroughly looking forward to reading them. So I've got four books and an ebook. There will be one further video to follow shortly, which will be my February TBR. And as I say, I hope you're reading and having a lovely time. I've been struggling a little bit with a bit of a reading slump, but that seems to have been kick-started by reading some essays and various other books for Diversathon, although I need to break away, I think, from Diversathon topics purely based around Black Lives Matter. I now want to look more into LGBTQ+. I hope I've got all the... But I'd like to read more books on that. If anybody can recommend me some really good ones to start off with, I'd appreciate that down below. And as I say, let's chat in the comments below. If you've got anything you'd like me to do or like me to see, like me to show you, then please recommend that down below. I'm open to have this channel full of whatever content you feel you want to see. So, as I say, let's chat. Take care, BookTube. Bye for now.